Good evening, everybody, and hello from a slightly unwell Irnay. Well, I feel like I can race, so I will race. But let's say I have felt more healthy before. So I had a nap, and I'm a bit better. And if it becomes worse, I will maybe shorten it by a race or two. But of course, as I open the stream, all the settings reset. Yeah. Well, 1 minute till quali anyway, so there is time to fix. Where is... yeah, I was... wait. Yeah, well, so sorry for all the technical difficulties, but it's fine. So basically, I've played yesterday and tried to do something like this, but I don't have it ready yet. I was changing some settings, and I put the UI stuff, like the HUD, a bit closer together, and I'm looking at the way to put the actual chat onto the monitor. I think everything is a bit too bright. Also, I untaped this thing and retaped it back closer. Just one setting that needs to be double checked. I don't know, I think it's fine. Actually, I could remove this. Oh, the HUD is kind of visible. I'll call it as well set up stream, and I'll go straight into quali. So here we are with LMP2 again. But this time it's on the default setup, so it's gonna have a lot less grip than my Monza setup. But later we have also multi-class open at Le Mans, and I planned to take the LMP2 and take my Monza setup, which should work quite well there, and hope for the best. So yeah, well, hello Marvin, hello Alex, hi Ankesh and Joao, and everybody else who's watching. Well, I got... people started scaring me that I got COVID, because supposedly everyone is having COVID at the moment for whatever reason. And I just hope I got kind of air-conditioned sickness from 35 degrees outside and less than 25 degrees inside, and changing that multiple times per day. But for the moment my voice is still working, I can kind of breathe, the eyes are not aching or like, what's the word, burning too much. Mic sounds good. Did I change anything? No, I've changed absolutely nothing, but the OBS is playing tricks with me. Because every time I close it and open it, some settings are different. And then I tried putting the same exact numbers back, but it's different. So I need different numbers for same effect, so I don't know. I just hope the volumes and everything is fine, and the camera is fine, and that it's gonna be some fine races. Could be placebo. But good to know it sounds good. Also, in the other news, my Porsche wheel is coming back already. I should have it tomorrow. With fresh new rubber. Like the grip, hand grip molds. But if I feel not good, then I think my next stream will be like maybe on Saturday. I need to readjust to the fixed setup because it's so much stiffer than what I run at the weekly race at Monza, that the braking zones are much trickier. But anyway, the tires are not up to temp yet, so I think it's gonna be, yeah, 2 attempts after this. And the FFB is lowered, so my arms don't fall off. Yeah. And I sincerely hope I don't get a runny nose during the stream. Anyway, here we go. First proper Q attempt incoming. Tires still kind of cold. 34 track, not that cold, but yeah. Alright. That's a solid apex. Alex, FSR practice going quite well. I found some clicks, right? No, honestly, I found some FSR inside news that I cannot share. Although I guess it's not a secret that FSR every autumn runs like a winter or like fall season. Maybe some Indy cars or NASCARs like in the past. I will let Cameron announce it. I'm slow. I will need to improve. Ooh, I'm on TV today. Ooh, the big screen. Well, I try to put some big purple sectors now. Joao, I will double check after this. Fidelity super resolution. Well, that could be another thing to be optimized, I guess. But we were talking about Formula Sim racing. Oh, the pole position guy is doing quite good lap times. Gonna be P2, and then I'll try to win the race into the first corner. And P1 says botched final lap. Well, then what was he about to do? It's quite fast. Oof. Luca, are those modded cars or RF2? No, this is Le Mans Ultimate, which is, I mean, you could say it's a modded RF2, but it's not really. Return to garage and let's double check OBS. So I did have this little window, right? But I was adjusting all the settings, and like in the OBS I thought, or like I changed the like position of the HUD so it's not further apart but more closer. And that's gonna work fine if I do this with proper frame and everything. Let's keep it off, and if you guys cannot really see the standings well, then I will fix it later. And of course I completely forgot to calculate the fuel. That's gonna be 45 for 22 minutes. Should be fine. FSR. Yeah, I didn't know exactly what you meant before. FSR is, yeah, it just like, yeah, modded cars, like kind of new F1, like modern F1 models with kind of good physics, like improved physics and very good tires and so on. So it handles, like the 24 season handled really well. Anyway, green box saying 60 limit upcoming, and now we are going soon. And I'll go straight to the inside because otherwise I'll get dive bumped. Oh, P1 is being tagged, so we are in the lead, but I'll be attacked very soon. Yeah, I don't really have a fever or something, like I wasn't feeling cold, but I just, like, all the muscles feel like I require 1 week of sleep. But it kind of feels drivable now with lowered FFB. Well, I did race with quite a lot of fever in the past, like I had 38 Celsius for one kind of nice esport race with good prizes. What was it called? We were racing with the radicals. I think the leader went to USA and had the real radical to drive. And I just could not do quali laps because it was too much pushing. But in the race I went from like P13 to P6 or something. It was crazy race. So I just need to try to do clean laps, clean exits out of the last corner, and the fact that there is no slipstream at all with these cars should make it possible for me at least to try defending the lead. You can see it, Joao. Okay, yeah, good to know that. I think it should be like readable. I have that OBS little monitor, but it's lower resolution, so I don't ever know if it's really readable or not. But well, today I just jumped here and tried to set up everything within a couple of minutes after going out of the bed. And since I felt kind of decent, I just decided to stream anyway. 4/10 gap should be enough to defend. Hello Colin. Am I going to stream VC test race? I'm still awaiting the confirmation from Sim Racing Club or from Jimmy if I'm allowed to stream or like to stay on the server when not driving. I broke so early that I caught out Mr. Gibbons by surprise. But I'm scared of lockups. Actually, the LMP2 drives quite nice around here. Feels a bit low grip and it's quite easy to lock up. I think both front and rear, but the balance is alright, like it's quite enjoyable to drive. Actually, I may be slightly annoyed by that non-stretched HUD, because now I turn in, like right corners are fine, but when I'm going left, there is this track map, which I don't really need, but well, I have a button assigned, and it's gone. It's still this little box here, I don't know, it was a bit better before when it was further left, but yeah, I need to shuffle things around a little bit, so it's gonna look better on the stream. One downshift too much. I'm slow through there. Too much curb. And then it feels like there is not any rubber on the right side. Yeah, I'm managing to get quite good exits. With Pedersen, with Jesper, yeah, we are figuring out what to do. Like either be allowed to stay in the server and keep streaming, or just like tell people to move to the other driver's stream, but he's on Twitch and I'll be on YouTube, so that's a bit awkward. Or just stream his stream, yeah. There is a couple of options. Or even one like common stream from Rafa Racing. But that's gonna be even more difficult, like the way that the Red Line is doing the streams. As they have one guy just running the stream and then taking the feed from each driver. I'm braking kind of 1 meter later every lap, and I'm just waiting for a lockup to happen. I hope I still have good margin. That was not good. I hesitated on the brakes, on the throttle. Despite 2 purple sectors, he's still on my rear. I think that's going to be a defense. Hi, Jose. No, he's too far behind for a dive. And he doesn't feel aggressive enough to go for every single gap, so try not to defend clean air. And yeah, Red Line have a spectator, they have a separate streamer, like an engineer or somebody who just does all the extra work. That's not really the most wanted idea at Rafa. So we will figure out. But yeah, I would like to stream that test race. Although there is an issue that there is the lockup. 1 meter too late. There is the issue that maybe I'll not be able to even attend the test race for VEC. In that case, Jesper will drive it alone. Gibbons must have made some mistakes there as well. Or maybe I just haven't lost as much time as I thought I would. Well, it's a green sector 3, so it must have been decent. It's funny how this car takes the curbs really well in some circumstances. Like here it's taking them quite well. Sometimes at some angles it really throws the car out, but on this setup, despite the stiff front springs, maybe it's because of quite high ride heights and it just has so much ground clearance. Well, Joao, we will figure it out, I don't know. Not sure how it is for the test race, but I mean, I guess it makes sense that the rule about 70% would still apply. Well, maybe personally I have never taken the test races seriously enough. And sometimes I just skipped them. But well, since it's on Spa, which is then also the first round of the series, it will make sense to attend. Or maybe I can get in a reserve. P2 locked up, P3 locked up. I locked up a little bit, but I actually locked up the least of everyone. Anyway, brake bias 1 click to the rear. I would love +1 front wing, but there is no front downforce adjustments here. I'm wondering why I didn't get a cut through turn 2. On the exit I ran very wide. I did that with GTEs and it was immediate big cut, like orange or something. But LMP2 is fine somehow. I have a really good line through the last corner. It's really important to kind of straight line the exit, but then to actually like use all the road on the left, to put 2 wheels on the green stuff and leave 2 on the curb. It's a bit weird and bumpy, but you can just use so much more speed, or carry so much more speed. More lockups from behind. I was being scared that P2 is gonna eat me alive, but I'm somehow keeping the pace. Well, he still feels faster, but I don't know. Yes, Luca, indeed. Well, they're consistently updating the cuts on track per track basis. Kind of gives them a lot of work to optimize and stuff, but I kind of appreciate how the cuts are in LMU anyway, because in other mainstream sims they feel terrible, or like they are just made like consistent but really weird, like when it comes to how it feels on track. Like in iRacing, you sometimes cut a corner and get a huge slowdown, and then you need to leave 2 seconds for 1/10 of a gain. So I don't know. In ACC it's a bit weird as well. But I guess it's a trade-off for now between consistency and feeling realistic. Hey Jonathan. Well, look, for me the worst one is on Imola main straight, because there are two kinks with green Astro, and if you go all the way to the wall, you will actually go 4 wheels off the white line, and then it gives you, like, it starts calculating. Although for now, at least in LMU, I never really got a cut point for that. But it still feels frustrating that there is like a paved piece of track and then you use it next to the wall and it's a cut. But that could give you illegal overtake, like if somebody is defending and... yeah. Ooh, P2 spun. P2 spun. P3... well, P3 spun as well before. Oh well. Wait, did I use... no, I think I drove a different car. It was a Porsche. I drove Porsche GTE last time around Fuji and I spun out. And I raced against Michi, and Michi then later spun out as well. Okay, yeah, he was pushing hard, it looks like. Well, time to cool down a little bit and conserve my energy so my fever doesn't arise. But that was such a weird spin. He must have had more aggressive TC. I think the TC like on 5 or like 4 or 5 cut and 8 main works really well. Like the rear kind of steps out a little bit sometimes, but overall it catches vast majority of the wheel spins. I also think that P2, so Gibbons was pushing a lot in corners. He was gaining so much through the long turn 3, which means that his front left was cooking and it overcooked itself. Ah yeah, it was the banana. Of course. Also, I notice now that I have massively overfueled. That makes me wonder why was I lacking so much quali pace. Maybe I was just way too gentle on the tires in quali. Although, well, I mean, it's been my first laps today. And I've been sleeping 1 hour ago because I felt unwell. So I cannot demand crazy quali lap times from myself in that case. Still feels like it's front limited on the brakes. I had 52.8 bias at Monza, and here it kind of requires a lot less, or like a lot more rearwards compared to that. Oh, 3 more laps. Yes, Jonathan, so... well, I hope it's visible. It should be visible with how the streaming layout is made today. 8 and... wait, where is... ah, it's this button. Ah. Don't look at the screen and drive at the same time. Anyway, I have good gap. So I think, yeah, 4 or 5. Actually 4 is good enough, but 8 is actually too little. Like, I would appreciate if it could go higher than 8 and then use less of cut. But because the TC activation threshold, so the main TC is not able to be increased, I need more cut to prevent the earlier wheel spins a bit more, I think. well, it's dependent on the car. Although I think generally I always use almost max or max TC and then like low or halfway cut. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, no plan F for fastest lap today. Well, again, if you missed my explanation at the start, I must have caught either some virus or some air conditioning related cold. But I really don't feel the best today. Although it's funny because when I drive, I'm quite in a like laying down position, kind like body's kind of relaxed apart from the back, which is a bit too loaded. I think if I lay here in this position for a long time, then my back could start hurting because there is a lot of force on it. But yeah, just like laying here or like half sitting in the sim rig and driving with slightly decreased FFB is in fact quite good for the feeling. Even if I feel like without energy, I'm still able to race. And after that I even feel more energized, like it just keeps the blood flowing while I still kind of rest a little bit. Obviously, huge big esports is no, but races like this is just like perfect enough for a quick stretch. Although, well, I plan to do 4 races, which is a bit more than a quick stretch, but I should manage. Yeah, the TC surely does affect the turning. But the issue is that these new tires with the new physics on LMU really don't like turning and wheel spinning. And the TC is implemented incredibly well, so you don't really lose much time by fully leaning onto it. Even like Monza turn 2 exit first gear, you can like use basically maxed out TC on every setting and floor it, and you will not really lose any time, maybe like half a tenth or so compared to like perfectly managed right foot on 0 TC. Well, that's at least how I found it out. But maybe with more testing I will change my mind. Let's see. Always some important esports races are needed for people to properly figure out what's best. But yeah, I prefer having a bit of TC limitation on the X. Like here, second gear, it surely blocks. I don't know if it was visible, like I could surely feel it. The rear kind of wants to start sliding, but the TC keeps blocking it. And I can feel... Oh, here's the P1. That's the first win. Beautiful. You can kind of start feeling the rear going, but it's not really going. It's just like rotating quite well. And I fear that with less TC it would rotate even better on throttle, but then it's gonna be just overheating more, or like worse late exit, or maybe late exit wheel spin or a snap. Ah yeah, the flu. Well, it started with my nose, but I don't know, let's see. I hope it doesn't go lower down to the lungs, or like the... what's the word? Bronchi? Higher respiratory tract. I don't know what's the translation. I'm just gonna quickly check the reason for my easy win, if the replay cooperates. So this is Gibbons. Look, it's pausing itself, and then if it pauses itself, Was it here? And if it poses itself, and if I move it, then it's gonna like reset to the same position. There is a bit of bug. And I have a couple of more minutes to sign up for the next race. Must have been here. Ah, he clipped the curb. Yeah, and then the tires are saying no and the suspension is stiff. And it just did not stop bouncing. That feels so weird, like, or so bad, because in Gibbon's position, like, you feel you have more pace, you just take better line. But the curb is aggressive, and then you just see your win go away within 2/10. Alright, well, let's sign up for the next one. Yeah, maybe it's a cold. Like, people around me keep saying that there is a lot of COVID around, so I don't know if I have some tests for COVID back from the days which are out of, like, past the date of being useful, but maybe I'll use one of those. Although, I mean, there is nothing I can do about it anyway, so... yeah. Corvette Cup at Monza. Oh, we have Barclay and Gibbons as well. This is gonna be even more difficult. 5 minutes. Actually, I have time to practice. Yeah, the biggest issue is that a friend gets married in 2 days. Because the Thursday is here like a national holiday. What's it called? The Mary's Assumption or something like that in English. And they decided to marry on that day, and I would like to go there. So it's a bit unfortunate that the viruses and stuff are cruising around at this point in time. Oh wait, we have to adjust this so my steering doesn't feel too aggressive. Bit less fuel. Max pedal force. Let's see. I guess it should be a holiday in most of the Western world. It's just like, it's a bit unusual for these countries here, which we, like in the East, which had communism, which absolutely hated the Catholic holidays. So they made most of them not free. But the 15th of August is still free. Or like remained free. Try some quali motor map now. It's so stupid because, again, gives you 2 extra horsepower and burns way more than that percentage-wise of fuel. Have I moved my camera a bit too forward? Maybe I did. Well, there is no LEDs on the dash anyway. I've always used race lean apart from quali because it felt to me that, oh, that's nice understeer. It felt to me that I gain more performance by taking 2 liters less fuel than by having 2 horsepower more. And yeah, it's a beautiful Corvette Cup. I would be looking forward to some Aston Cup one day. Well, they did do some of those, because the Aston is a bit off pace. But it's very lovely to drive. Do we stay in 5th gear here? Just about maxes out the RPM. A bit less power cut because I floored it in 1st gear now and it completely prevented any hint of wheel spin. What's the temperature? 33. Now this low downforce setup is kind of slidey a little bit, or like, I thought there was a car. It's a bit drifty into the corner, but out of the corner it's quite understeery. Well, like most cars on the default setups. I think the front downforce is heavily lacking on the exits. The car probably pointing into the sky with negative rake, but it's gonna take that apex curb at Ascari exit quite well. Now this should be 5th gear. I think only 6th gear into turn 1. Sorry, 3 liters per lap. 2.99, okay. For the calc. Let's join the official server. Alright, Alex, enjoy the week, and alright, well, see you on the weekend. Oh, Nico, hello. Don't be too fast, I feel a bit ill. Be easy on me. Hey, Kahel. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. The infection is moving downwards now. Up and down, I think the BOP, ideally they want to make it per track, but because it's not a huge studio, they have bigger priorities, I think. So yeah, the Le Mans obviously needs special touching on BOP. But it's not crazy different. It's just like the setups are different for low downforce tracks and medium and high, I think. Like Monza and Le Mans, and then Spa... probably Spa, Monza... No, Le Mans has separate setup. Spa, Monza have low downforce, then Sebring and Fuji probably medium. Portimao probably has the high downforce. I think they made like several presets that then load automatically. Double check if the stream is still all good after changing the car. It should be. It's a bit brighter, like I made it even darker than before, but it's somehow brighter. I don't know why OBS is doing this to me. Anyway, it's visible. Actually, it's too bright. Let me... Actually, one more thing I forgot to do. Yep, the colors. For the night lighting. Let me... just change... No, that's the other camera. This is the correct one. A bit less gain. What is going on there? It's so bright. It's a bit overkill. I don't know, maybe it's a bit better than before. I use F-Lux, yes. And I really feel the difference. Like it's, if I have full blue lighting, like I turn it off if I need max PC performance, like for big esports races, which is basically has only been formal sim racing for the past few months. And it's so much harder to sleep after it. I mean, part of it is also adrenaline, but well, the streams... In the streams I usually kept it running, but just decreased it marginally. But yeah, if it's shining blue light, then it makes sleeping a lot more difficult. And in the late evening, I normally have it like almost completely red. Light bulb. Well, I'll look into that. About OBS filter outputs, I don't know. I have never done any filters on the actual camera, so I don't know what it's doing, because sometimes the monitor looks fine, but then the steering wheel looks terrible or like very saturated. I guess 4 laps, so that's gonna be 13-ish liters. Maybe brake bias should go a bit forward. I was locking the rears a little bit. This sim cockpit, hi, it's a tricky question. Well, depends if you mean the camera position or FOV, because FOV in LMU at least it stays fixed for me. Like I use 26, and if I leave it on 26 it's gonna stay there, but the camera position, it's a file that gets saved per vehicle, like per livery. So if, let's say, LMP2 has 30 different liveries, if you select a different one, you will have to readjust it again. But if it's exactly the same car, it should keep it. Alright, Kahel. I'll look into it, because I sometimes, or like often, forget about it, and it's not too great. So I'll for sure have a look. No, I already like pre-assumed that I just have to click the camera every time. Although like I have driven this Corvette before many times and I still had to adjust the camera, so I don't know, it's not saving the file with the camera positioning as it should be, which is probably a bug or like unfixed functionality. But well, it's not game breaking yet, so some other things needs to be fixed first. Brakes, please don't lock up. Okay. I broke so early that despite the lockup, I still made the apex. I need to... Wait, did the front or the rears lock up? Must have been the rears. It's completely my fault for moving the brake pressure from 85% to 100%. And the car feels good now on a bit more warm tires. They will fix everything in the future. Maybe not everything, but the important things. I like to live in the optimism. Slightly missed the apex, but well, more time to be gained next lap. Provisional pole, interesting. So brake later, but less. Ah, understeer. Wasn't good. Yeah, well, indeed, Colin. LMU life from its first announcements to now has been quite depressing most of the time. I need to use the anti-cuts. Let's see if I managed to do it. If I manage to do it on the next lap, because this is a write-off here to keep tires not overheated. Well, LMU, I mean, it's been depressing when reading everything about motorsports games, but it's still shaping up quite nicely, and people, including me, are enjoying it. Despite all the bugs and still being early access, it's perfectly possible to have great fun. Yeah, so much understeer. Just need to fully clip the apex curb. Sim cockpit, I not officially, and currently not really, to be honest, because my sim racing job in the past few months has been changing dramatically, and I'm still figuring out how exactly to invest time, and I prefer not to be maybe overly invested at the moment. So 3/10 I need to gain. PC stopped working for a moment. Too scared to take both anti-cuts. Solid corners here through Lesmos, and I surely have a 10th remaining to be gained through Parabolica, so let's see. A big understeer when I applied the throttle. Lost the pole with that. I lost the time even though I made better apex. And it was sector 3 that was purple. Oof, anyway. That's some tight margins in the top 5. So 3 liters per lap, right? Okay. Into it. So that's 107, 108 seconds. $13 liters times 3. I'm gonna take 40. I will decrease the pedal force a bit because this was slightly too much on the edge. Yeah, iRacers complain about tires all day. Well, I complain about iRacing tires despite not being an iRacer. You try to differentiate S397 and MSG. Well, Cahel, it kind of makes sense. Well, they are different companies. Kind of, I mean, I don't really know well this business words, like if it's same company or not, but yeah, it's two different groups. And yeah, I think they're even outsourcing a lot of work outside of the studio. But it's all shaping out quite nicely. Looking forward to the Monza Classic Turn 1. Yeah, I see David and Barclay are having some fun in the chat already. So annoying because the green lights stay on for such a long time and I already need the radar to make some decision. Brake late. Almost a repeat of Fuji Turn 1. Well, this is gonna be fun. So many fast drivers here. Top 6, top 7. Let's see how strong the slipstream is. Bit too late. But I saw an approaching Corvette in the rear view mirror and lifted out a bit. And tires are still cold. Just no grip. Oof. Already my first defense. Actually not. He lifted off a little bit. Shades TCM, hello, how come I carry so much speed in corners? Well, that's a tricky question. I mean, I carry as much speed as the car is allowing me to carry, so... Straight into full defense. Wait, I had a race like this once upon a time, some weeks ago, but maybe it was the Ferraris, when I got the P1, but then for like 5 laps in a row, all I was doing into every corner was just defend, defend, defend. And then suddenly my tires were better. He outbroke himself. A bit of a breathing room. Yeah, Ferrari at Monza. Yeah, it was Ferraris for sure. It was a fun race. I hope I have taken enough fuel. I see the fuel usage is slightly higher, although that was from the race start. I just struggled to get that final bit of front grip at the apex. .02, yeah, the fuel is fine. I'm just braking way too early. Scared of the lockups. Yeah, I'm doing slow in, fast out, but Gibbons behind is doing fast in, fast out. Just like when the corner starts ending and I try to go on throttle, the front just like goes straight for like 1/10 of a second. Oi, oi, oi. Painful. Never good to defend into Parabolica. I gave him too much margin, so he will have a nice run on me. The traction around turn 2 and the exit like out of there is always such superior. He's too far to dive, right? Oh, that's track limits. And I didn't cut it that much. But I mean, I would say that even touching the anti-cut should be immediate track limit anyway, regardless of the white lines. Because, well, those things are not supposed to be touched. In real life they will break the floor and the suspension anyway. With this lack of front grip I just need like to throw around the rear and hope that it will help me rotate. Seemingly P3, P4, P5 decided to battle amongst themselves rather than catch us. Or maybe they just don't have the pace. Yeah, Gibbons is driving extremely well. Not diving for nothing, not risking anything. Just having to wait so long to go onto the power. But I assume that, I guess with the rear wing 1 setup here for the low downforce, they just had to soften and lower the rear so much that to make it stable. And then it's kind of stable into the corners, but way too soft out of the corners. Anyway, that was the first lap without a defense. And we are pulling some good gap on the P3, P4, P5 battle. Just need to flick around, like I'm sliding the rear in kind of an unrealistic way. Through turn 1, just rotate on the brakes a bit and then flick it into the left and trust that the rear is gonna keep the grip and help with the rotation. How is that not a cut? I've completely cut that one. And on the right apex it's immediate cut, even if I just like half cut it. Guten Abend, Daniele. Willkommen aus Italien. Or is it nach Italien? Long time since I had some German lessons. Gibbons is close again. And I'm doing a PB, but he's still closing in. Come on! Oh no. Oh, he went off as well. It's such an like it happens so often, this occurrence with one driver making a small mistake and the car behind just following him. I've seen it in LMU so many times in the recent months. Not just LMU, like I still remember vividly that one race with GT3s, I think, at Truxton in RF2 online system, when Michi was ahead of me and he just tapped the grass slightly through that deadly flat out or almost flat out kink on the back straight. But I decided to just... It was not that kink, it was actually the exit before that, which is even more dangerous. He touched the grass slightly, but I went full into it and just went straight into the wall. Aus Italien. Understood. I don't even know what I wanted to say. Greetings. Did they say greetings or like welcome? I don't know. The virus is going into my brain already. At least I'm not feeling cold, which means that the fever is not going to come yet, at least. Flicked it too much and ran into traction issues. Gets funny when you have to say aus Australien. Yeah, I guess. Again! Just no front. I'm trying to drive it the old RF2 way with muscle memory, but it cannot be driven like this. If you overturn, you will not find extra input or like extra cornering, you will just find extra understeer. So just need to go cleanly into the corner with less than more input and gently make the apex. Kind of like this, and then the exit is easy flat without any issues. Daniela, like people around me are saying that I maybe have the virus. I need to defend here. Although he would probably not have dived, so effectively just worsened my position for out of here, out of turn 2. So I will, Daniela, I will know within 3 hours. I'll find those old tests and I'll test myself to see if it's the C or not. But I would not be even mad, because it's the virus that gave me this career. What am I doing? Come on. It's not necessarily a lot slower, but it's just a bit slower. Nisuk Ben, what are the basics for tuning setup? Well, it's basically, I mean, I would say it's the same for every car. You try to do it like in real life. You try to make the car run as close to the ground as possible, so the center of gravity is as low as possible and the downforce is as high as possible, but then at the same time you try not to lose time from chassis scrapping. So you kind of need to use the third suspension quite a lot in the hypercars for good straight line performance. But it's tricky because one can never know if one should like manage it with increasing front right height or front third packer or maybe stiffer front third spring. Or even front corner springs in some cases if the third suspension is already stiffened a lot. Like with the Porsche, I think the Porsche has quite soft third elements, so you need to run a bit stiffer corner suspensions. Ah, well, yes, Daniela, then you're lucky. I probably had it like 3 times, but I only had proper fever once. And then the other time it was maybe just a cold or like just a bit of a rough throat for 2 days. Ah, he outbroke himself. He's all the time braking so late. And I just don't dare doing it. Do I have enough fuel? Yeah, just about enough. Hey, Asim Racer, it's old wheel, the new one, well I will have the new wheel again, like the Porsche wheel will be here again tomorrow, but then it depends when I feel better again to be able to drive fast. Maybe tomorrow if my rough feeling gets healed overnight. But I should get the Porsche wheel back tomorrow. It was in for the repairs because the rubber on this handle disintegrated, which was supposedly a factory defect. Because the rubber molding is not so much of a consistent process and there can be issues with it. So it just like opened out on the stitch, like on that line. Good guess, Daniele. You think I am? Well, judging from the past thumbnails, there is 100% chance that I'm doing it with the Peugeot. I could change my mind. Maybe I will lie in my bed with 38 Celsius on Saturday anyway. Okay. Okay. I've had way too many incidents with cars broken on the side of the track. I wonder if he just had huge suspension damage or if he was trolling around a little bit. Nice exit. Now Gibbons was over-rotating the steering wheel. Yeah, at least it had a wing, yeah. Daniela, well, enjoy it tomorrow. I will be unable to do it tomorrow. I thought of streaming something funny tomorrow, like through the day. And I will do it still one day, but probably not tomorrow because, well, the feeling is not that good. But in the evening I will not be able to. So either Friday or Saturday, but most likely Saturday. So one last lap, maybe one last dive from Gibbons, or one last lockup from me. That was quite clean. Aus ist richtig, danke. Feels like I'm just braking way too early, like 20 meters too early, but I just don't have the confidence. I have to defend this. Did I have to miss that apex a little bit at Lesma too? I should have still the advantage. He will understeer. There is just no grip in LMU around the outside there. Oh, so here we go, the second COVID victory. Well, potentially COVID. Maybe I need to decrease the FAB further, but this was just about manageable with my aching and weak hands. Marvin, not tomorrow for me. On weekend, maybe. Co-victory, potentially. I think I just, like, judged turn 1 quite well. Like, I was cautious, but still I was late enough. Just about made the apex, and although Gibbons was really not trying to do anything dangerous here, he could have floored it and like kept it alongside, and he would actually had room given anyway. But he was very clean. Last check on... wait, last lap? Oh, that's not my car. Where is my car? Wanted to check race mode too. I broke early. So let's say here-ish. He's braking a lot later than me. And I turn in and I just... I mean, I didn't really miss the apex, but you ideally want to be... Come on, stop. You want to be like halfway over the Italian flag curb. I hit the white line, but it indeed felt like I missed the apex by quite a lot. He actually used the high part of it. And then here, yeah, you cannot really use the outside to have a switchback. It's... and the railroad is not existing there. Alright. Piastri with broken ribs. Well, it's not that much of a pain. Yet, at least. Alright, what's next? I'm switching to the inter races. I need to look at the rank breakdown. Let's see if I gained 1 or 2%. Or if it's maybe more. There were some quite high ranked drivers. Well, 2.1. It's something. So we are going to Spa. And let's hope that more people register soon. But maybe as the future or upcoming thumbnails will show or are showing, I'll take the Peugeot. I'll join the practice and then I will take a very short break. And I'll put camera on somebody else so there is something going on in the stream. Even need more cooling on my fan, which means that the fever is indeed not increasing. Oh, that's so... what? No, this is... it's actually that bright. This is not stream issue. Uh-oh. We have a bug. It becomes better here. I need to rejoin. And hope for the best. But that's again that auto exposure issue. Some time ago I had similar issue, but it was that actual like some curbs or like some apexes had like a green gold-ish hue, or like some like it was shining a bit weirdly. Nuclear flash, yeah. Constant nuclear flash. Well, I have a trace to submit later, so they can fix it. And I hope it's fixed now. What's going on there? Well, it's kind of fixed. I will leave it like this and I'll be back in 3-4 minutes. See you soon. I am back. Hi David, yeah, that was some nice racing. Even though we didn't really have much side-by-side action, but it was still on the edge. Right, is the stream still alive? Everything is alive. The camera is still working well. So what I normally do then with hypercars is I put steering wheel range to 500, and then FFB will go 5 clicks up because the hypercars have it a bit more weak. I'll leave everything else as it is. And I hope that issue with the illumination of the environment or exposure or whatever it is will not return, because that was quite weird. But it's funny, now I think the camera on the stream is really well. Bonk. Damage. The camera on the stream is really well balanced color-wise, but then the hands are like really orange, and then the wheel is not well visible. I don't know. I'll need to optimize the backlighting and everything like that a bit more. Anyway, long time no Peugeot. So much grip compared to the GTE. LMP2, you messed up your braking. Yeah, I was just braking early for the whole race, trying not to lock up. I was just being utterly scared. For GTEs as well, just braking way too early. So TC, cut max. Actually, wait. I did run, I think I tried the Ferrari at Bahrain with something like this. No, not like this, come on. I don't have the muscle memory for this steering wheel button assignments. I think I had something like this, or even 9, come on, what are you rotating? 966 or 1055 or something along those lines, and it felt really good. But then in some other cases, I just feel like the slip needs to be maxed out. Nine, 5, 9, I'll leave it like that. We at least have a bit more of practice for this. The hypercars kind of need a bit of practice because they are quite difficult. Well, and the tires are cold. We have softs for Spa, of course. And the track is cold, so I guess it will be a soft race. Colin, I think there is quite a high threshold for the damage, so I would assume that it had registered some damage. Like in RF2 you have light blue and dark blue, and most of the times light blue means no repairable damage, as if it was kind of disconnected between the crash physics and how it affects the performance. I don't know. I already had dark blue damage in RF2 without any repair options, or light blue with repair options, but most of the time it's light blue, and I would assume I would have light blue damage now, but not repairable, so the option doesn't show up to repair the car. PC is doing funny stuff. The rear kind of walks a bit. But it never really goes full crazy. I think... wait, where is... I had to rotate it to switch the HUD. I think my ARBs are very stiff. At Imola, I think I had 2 and 1 or 2 and 2. Vojta Polesny has entered the race. We will have some really fast drivers again. The brake bias will have to go a bit backwards. They have changed GTEs. Yeah. I felt like for the Corvette I even needed to move brake bias forward. Oh, that's a big cut. Unlucky. Well, it's practice, so I will cut now and not cut later. This feels quite a lot better than with 4.1 ARBs, I think. Although, at the same time, the tires are hotter. Ah, Colin. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I understand that. I mean, for now, if I lost the wing, I could see the option in the pit menu. But yeah, it would have to be like in RF2, like around this area, like... I don't know why they removed it in RF2. They had this exact graphics, which is probably hidden in the stream behind this shifter pedal. But well, basically the 4 colored tires with colors for temperature and the brakes. But they removed the damage markers, which is really weird. They could just quickly add some of them. It would be so simple. What am I doing? Brakes just don't do what... Where has he gone? Spun the Lambo around. The brakes are just not doing what I thought they would be doing. No, actually, I can use the downforce at the start. I'm kind of braking like if it was GTE. But I just need to smash them at the start and then bleed off. David, yes indeed, so I think the new version is 0.71 of True Drive, but I went back to 0.5 because 0.71 has issues like spikes in FFB out of nowhere and is supposedly a stability issue, like unsafe to use even, but they are supposedly on it. Like I talked to Mr. Devin from the studio about it, and he told me they are on it. The issue was with that new what's it called, filter, like not forecast filter, but some kind of filtering which fills the empty gaps between samples of FFB, I think, which was completely redone, but then everything was broken. I mean, it was still drivable. I just like felt it out of pit lane when I went slightly left to right with steering wheel. It was like spiking like crazy. It was feeling extremely weird, but in high speed it was alright. And this lap was kind of alright. Reconstruction filter, of course, yes. And luckily on that, what's it called, kind of Wikipedia page, but it's not Wikipedia, where they have all the software uploaded for the True Drive. If you take the old True Drive, it will automatically install the old firmware version, because it's not just the True Drive, it's also the servo motor firmware. Throttle understeer. Kind of floaty a little bit. In some points I would like less floatiness or less rotation, but then in other corners I'd like more rotation. It's overall alright, of a balance, I think. It has some similar traits to that GTE at Monza, like late corner exit. At some point the front just stops doing anything. So you kind of need to be very shallow on the exit to actually make the exit flat out. Let's see, fuel usage 3.84. .92. I guess I'll be taking 3.9 or 4. So let's go to the actual server. Oh, hello Gasper, see you in the race. Let's see if I can find you. I don't know why I scrolled so far down, like you're not that slow. Or like that little experienced in LMU. You did some races. Toyota. I was choosing between Toyota and the Peugeot. But I thought I wanted to learn the Peugeot a bit more. We have some Porsches. I don't really know what car is good here, because the brakes are not that important, so LMDH cars don't struggle that much. And straights are kind of long, so again that's good for a Porsche. But there are also some fast corners, which is good for like Ferrari or Toyota. They aren't million-time world champions, yeah, of course. Yeah. I appreciate the Toyota brand as well. I just find the car slightly tricky in some places, so I've never fully looked into the car. But maybe one day. Understood, Gasper. BMW. I really want to drive the BMW at some point and like work on the setup. It's supposedly same kind of same chassis as Cadillac in real life, but it drives a lot differently. Well, I guess we go out and back in. Hopefully the join event is here. It is. Nice. And then I hope I have some pace, because otherwise I'm going back to silver DR. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what the Peugeot setup or Peugeot performance will look like in the WEC weekly races. Because it's supposedly kind of alright when it comes to high-speed corners. Or not actually. What was it being said? It's good in top speed at Le Mans, but it was good in the corners at Imola as well. It was taking the curbs so nicely and was having a good traction. Well, let's see. The default setups are not really a good measure anyway. What did they say? 3.9, 4 liters per lap, I think it was. 4 liters per lap, that's kind of a lot for a hybrid, no? I mean, it's a heavy car, so... Don't tell me the lighting is broken. Oh, I think the lighting is a bit broken. But it's not as bright as it was before. I hope it fixes for quali. Yeah, the exposure is broken. Well, we will have to bear with it. Or we will have to hope that in quali it fixes itself. Ah, where is the track? I mean, it's not too bright. Issue is that I don't see anything else than the track. Like, I don't see the edges. I don't see the curbs. And then whatever I do with the camera exposure, it's not gonna work. Because the footage on the monitor itself is off. Less fuel. Why is it flashing now? Don't do that to me. No. Okay. Well, it stopped. Alright. Good news. Lucky. Yeah, I mean, I would restart the game, but I don't really want to with only 6 minutes to go. And then if I miss the end of quali, then I don't make it into the race. Hell, it is dramatic. I know that on stream, if the settings are wrong, it can start feeling quite dramatic with the overexposure. But no, I could not see the curbs. It was just like all surface of the sun and then a bit of greenery at the sides. Luckily, it's gone. So where is my settings? Bit more DC. No, cut is fine. I'll take max slip. Actually, I'll take max DC and max slip. Then 2 and 1 ARBs. Probably a bit more of a motor map, so I don't get any clipping. And the tires will take a long time to warm up. Probably we are going to be battling for the pole in the last timed lap. Nicolini just said... Ah, okay, so it's issue for everyone, or like... Maybe it's a server issue. So that was flat out in first gear and there wasn't really much of wheel spin. It's a bit wide and a bit of actual wheel spin. But the DC didn't kick in. I had it on max, but it didn't kick in. Anyway, that line through turn 1 being wide is actually faster than taking a lot of curb, at least with some cars. With Ferrari it's faster to miss the apex a bit. Because it absolutely hates bumpiness at the apex. But I think for the Peugeot it's better to take the apex. Tires are not gripping up yet. Oh no, Gasper. Like whole internet, or did it just reset? Ah, okay, you can reset, that's good. Well, quickly join. Good luck. Well, that wasn't the Toyota reliability. Hey, Gasper, you are in. Welcome to the server. Actually, I was so slow that I'm just getting one lap now. Oops. Anyway, push. I could easily have gotten the extra lap if I was just a bit faster. So surely the pole could be within 59s. Actually, it's quite well balanced in high speed. Stable, but still rotates. No purples though. Only the green sectors. Well, need to nail the chicane. Come on. The fronts didn't want to cooperate. Quite a bit off. Half a second. 6/10. Oof. This lap now would be the fastest, but I was not paying enough attention. Anyway, we have some time to calculate the fuel. 3.8. I used a bit less fuel because I had a bit higher motor map. Yeah. So let's say we are doing 120.9 on average. 5 times 60 divided by 120.9. I'm gonna be 13 laps. 50.7. 50. I guess I take 52. Let's quickly see what we have here. LMP2 log. The rear ride height is quite high and the front is alright, but still too stiff, feels like. Cannot even load the car. Wait, it's gonna... yeah. It cut poor Gasper off. But well, P5. Nico is on mediums. Nah, softs are better. Must be better. I don't know. Yeah, Daniela, I don't know. I like every type of racing has its charm. And I like to just jump in here and just do laps. And there is always, well, more people in the beginner series than in others. Except for some special events, which are extremely full, which is nice. Front RB. Do I have? PC max. Cut low. PRBs are fine. Brake bias is fine. Out of line, copy. Marvin, yes, spa fixed. system is not able to decide well where to put me. That was one of the worst reactions. Well, I appreciate good fixed setups. Oj, 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 oj. Poor Polesny. Almost poor me, but what is this about? Traditionally in sim racing, we would look at the drivers who is diving like this and read his surname aloud and then see what nationality it is, but I feel like people will be angry with me. The rear is sliding a bit. Well, about the setups, I would charge them too much. They have some really good guys doing the setups, so... Issue is that the setup needs to be kind of usable by everyone, and then as soon as it's well balanced, then there are some corners where it could be deemed unstable. Matthias, hello, yes, not again, but still. Tomorrow I receive back my Porsche wheel. It was funny how it didn't want to rotate in that long right, I think it's called the rivage, and then I stamped on the throttle and leaned onto TC and it kind of rotated a bit. Yeah, I can be really aggressive on the throttle pedal with these settings. Just not sure if it's not taking a couple of milliseconds away from the pace. Try a bit less. The Porsche is really early on the brakes. They struggle quite a lot. Yeah, about the contacts, I don't know. I'm kind of happy with the situation I'm in currently. And then if I had no good team to be part of, then I would not be against such a job.
What car is fastest around Spa? I seriously don't know, to be honest. Yes, Ferrari is kind of a good all-around choice. Good on the brakes, good in high speed, decent in top speed. Thought that would have been a cut. Ooh, nice catch from P2. Ah, that's Nico. That's an odd place to have traction issue at, but I guess he just went into the gravel way too deep. Oh, yo. Oh, I couldn't avoid. What was that? Do I have damage? No. Oh, that's the bug, right? The damage showed up, but it says not available. So then why did it show up? You're lucky that I hit it straight, like hit Mr. Pacosi's front splitter, well, front wing, no, whatever it's called, splitter, going straight, and not when I was already turning in, so I didn't really lose much. Probably I should have stopped braking and turned right and kind of take the apex very early. I didn't really know where he was going to slide, so I just kept braking in a straight line. Yeah, I see it now, Joao and Colin. I wasn't really aware of that before. I wonder if Nico is still on mediums. If that's the case, then he will probably be faster towards the end of the race. He doesn't feel particularly fast at the moment. Yes, Nicolini on a hypercar. He took that class a couple of times. I think if GT is not available, then the hypercar is the next best thing. Well, yeah, he's doing well, he's fast. Driving the Peugeot around here now makes me think the Peugeot is not that bad. Just appreciate a bit softer setup, so in low speed the front kind of grips more. Getting close. And he still cannot make the apex. The Porsche brakes are so weak. That's gonna be fun. He's flashing me already. Nice Peruvian internet lagging around a bit, but LMU netcode is doing its job. Wow, nice braking. I was genuinely surprised by how much speed he could carry in there. Cut 1.25, that's one of the biggest cuts I ever got, but I'll take it. Too close, need to lift before Blanchimont, or through Blanchimont even. He has better exit. Switch back or around the outside? None of those, but I have another option now. Nice one. I just had to do what he did previous lap. But we have lost a lot of time to P1. Felt like the top speed of the Peugeot is really good. Or maybe it was just the side draft. I didn't really have a huge run on him. The P1 has pulled away a little bit, but we will have 6-ish more laps. Yes, Ryan, it's quite potent. Like you surely notice it. Well, P1 is kind of slow. I gained 7 tenths, I think, across this lap. So let's see, maybe I have the pace to catch. I need more than half a second per lap. Let's say 7 tenths per lap. Daniel, I'm not sure. If I had to choose one car now, it could be potentially the Ferrari. But I have not driven it for quite a long time, so... Ferrari is really, really good on the brakes. Oh, where is... Nico has gone... Internet or mistake? The Ferrari is bad at the low speed corner, slow speed corner apexes, so last and first corner is not great, but the braking is really good, so... And high speed is good. About BMW, it's fast, but I've just not driven it enough to make any kind of conclusions. But it's surely competitive. It's a bit wide. Yeah, that was a bit less than 7 tenths gain. I need to do a better job. That bump or like elevation change out of turn 1 apex when like you suddenly start going uphill is really good in the Peugeot. With the Ferrari, when you touch that thing, it just stops, like the front disappears for a tenth of a second. It just goes straight. Cadillac is difficult. Cadillac is fast, but... What's the word? It squats a lot on the exits and the nose dives a lot in the entries. Which is kind of an useful feature if you want a lot of positive balance at some point. But it's not easy to manage and not easy to set up. Starting to understeer a little bit. The fronts are wearing more than the rears, so let's try +1 rear ARB. I would have gained 7 tenths if I did a clean lap. I never know if I should carry 6th gear through Orush Raidillon or upshift to 7. I think the Peugeots, both Peugeots kind of have a slight drop of power at top RPM. Oi oi oi. Almost feels like I should blame TC on that. Because the rear tires, or like the engine sounds actually, were like very stuttering, and then It started to understeer a lot. Maybe the slip. Let's try 9 and 7. I gained 4 or 5 tenths in the last corner. Further 1/10 in turn 1, but I'm not fast enough. Should have overtaken Nico in the first try. Yeah, 3 laps. Fuel is good. It surely rotates a lot more on the throttle now. Actually quite nice, because it's lacking the front, but I can use the rear now. Even in high speed it feels like it turns more. Even too much more. So maybe back to 8 for the slip. Yeah, let's see if I gain further 1.5 or like a 0.5 in the braking zones. Messed up a bit, but so did I. Živio Jure! Ooh, he's sideways. I have a chance. These TC settings feel really good now. He's messing up the apex as he's under big pressure. Too far for a good tow, but with the superior brakes on the Peugeot I could scare him at least with kind of half dive. Too far. So crazy how the Porsche is so bad on the brakes. Here we go. He pulled out of turn 1 really fast though. Come on, slipstream. Oh. Just about enough grip to make the apex or the exit still flat out. Now what? Ay. I tried. Oh, out of fuel. Okay. Good race. Well, 2 hours and a half ago I was lying in bed thinking if I'm getting fever or not, but I have completely forgotten about the viruses now. Should have taken the black shirt. I didn't expect to sweat this much. Yeah, I don't know. He had really exceptional acceleration out of turn 1, but here we have 3-4 more minutes to register. I was too close, kind of. If I stuck the nose in, that would be like season ban in real life. So I was lucky to kind of hit the apex kind of correctly, because that apex can easily kill you. And there was enough of downforce to stay flat out. That's interesting, because I think in real life the loss of downforce here would be crazy. Wait, am I still... Just checking if I didn't press the wrong button. Okay, I didn't. Where is the... Ah, no. Yeah, of course I had to go for the outside because he was defending very inside for sure. And then you need to decide, like here already, you want to go for a switchback or carry it around the outside. And carrying around the outside into the last corner will usually end up in the Porsche being where it is and the Peugeot being on the cut. And then if you're unlucky enough, you can get a penalty for cutting and so on. So I decided... Here I still thought I could brake later than him and go around the outside, but then I saw in the radar he's so close, or like he braked at similar point. So I thought, well, he's gonna overshoot it a bit, but I was already overshooting it a little bit as well. I would... If I decided early enough in advance, I would be able to take the apex here. And then, at this point, my thoughts were, well, he's gonna defend the left side, right? So I have to carry it around the outside in case he parks the car on the left. But the angle around the outside here is just not possible. Yeah, and then there is kind of a lot of grip on that piece of road, like on the very left side. And then here it's kind of less rubbered, so... And then I hit the anti-cut and did a bit of drift. Well, by 4 seconds gap, it was a bit too much to overcome in the end. Would have needed another lap, but very good job from Fabio. Congrats to him. Quickly register. Why do I need to click 4 times to get out of there? Register P2, and let's take the same car as last time, which I think I had something like this. And again, my name is not on the list, but above the list, so I think it should work now. Yeah, I'm on the list. Quick check. Event history, Hypercar fixed, rank breakdown. surely didn't lose rank, right? Well, that's 2.3. Okay, interesting. Well, I guess I've beaten Barclay and Polesny and maybe some others who are actually well rated DR wise, so that makes sense. Hi Griglick, GG. Yeah, the understeer is interesting. Like on worn tires on the Peugeot with adjusted ARBs, it was actually kind of good in the end, but if you need to lean onto the tires, then it's immediate understeer. Just need a bit of underdriving. On the results page, there is back to online button. Ah, okay. Well, I'll try to remember after this. Where is the button? With the Porsche, yeah, I saw. I don't know why that was. Like the Peugeot wore the fronts significantly more than the rears, but when I went from 4.1 ARBs to 2.2 ARBs, it was suddenly all good, and then the TC adjustments worked perfectly. With I think I had 9.5.8 in the end. It countered the understeer on the exit very well. By the way, I can double check again how it looks, and maybe you guys can say if you like it. Oh, it's night, I think. So what I wanted to say is this, because like I thought that like when people stream and they have just face like now, and they don't have like the actual hands on the steering wheel, physical wheel on the stream, then it looks really weird. Just like in-game footage and the face. And I thought I should put the hands on there. But now I have kind of duplicated hands, and it's a bit tricky to make my background optimally visually appealing. So I thought this with a nice border and stuff, it will even open up some space for, I don't know, for better visibility of the HUD. But well, for now I keep it like this, and I will be adjusting it at some point. So it's open setup. I think it was this one. I have done at Monza, and I don't think I really have to change anything. Apart from, of course, controls, 380, and then FFB I will decrease it a bit, because LMP2 has it the strongest, I think, from all the cars. Other one, but with mirrored image. I have mirrored it because I thought it's a good idea to be looking into the stream rather than out of the stream. It froze, but I guess it's loading cars. Suppose I was one of the first ones. Yeah, I was one of the first ones to enter the server, so now it loaded all the cars. Okay, in those 5 seconds, I can quickly do this. And I can do this. I can do this. It looks a bit weird, no? I'm zoomed, but I look out of the picture. I think it looks better turned in, but well, I'm staying with this for now. Andy, I'm looking at stuff like Tiny Pedal or Race Labs or stuff, but I'm not fully sure what I should do. Let me save this into the correct folder and go for some quali. 107 FPS. I fear that adding too many plugins will just make it even more unstable. And yeah, I have, in my quick break between the first two and the second two races, I have opened up the side of my PC because things are getting 80 Celsius plus in there. And then if I open the side, it's like 65 Celsius, so I think I'm having pretty significant flow restriction issues with my case. Even though I have one fan at the front and one at the back, and then kind of opening at the top for hot air to go up automatically. That bollard jumping through the image was kind of funny. Oh, actually, this is kind of annoying now. The UI, or like the HUD, I have changed it from the semi-white to like normal, but it's so bright, no? Like in the race driving, it's kind of flashing towards me. I would love to have adjustable buttons, or like to put it onto like a rotary encoder and just dim the HUD a bit. Honestly, the same issue was there in RF2, no? I think it was the same always. In Le Mans, in the night stints, it was just too bright. Please don't fill up the screen with info. Yes, I'm trying my best. I thought for some time that the in-game HUD is sufficient. I'll try to work with it. And then maybe some parts of the HUD are not really necessary. I kind of wanted to just add the chat onto the screen because supposedly that's better for the overall viewing experience. Like somewhere here. And then instead of looking into the... That's painful. What is it with this corner? Now, yeah, I have to carry on. Because I don't have time for one more outlap. Well, 3%, it's gonna be fine. That was Monza brake bias. I've used like 51.4 in the Fuji race before, I think. And now I need like 53. Well, yeah, the tires are up to temp now. I mean, you can blame me for trying to explain stuff to the chat, but I was not even pushing, like I was what I felt like far below the limit. But supposedly with that corner I have serious issues, no matter the car. I had 2 race damaging lockups with Porsche and 2 with the Cadillac. Well, I'm glad this happened in the quali now, in the outlap. Maybe the Monza setup is done more for how should I say, lower or lower speed and medium speed corners, but not for Porsche curves. So let's try to survive now. Feels kind of tricky to drive. Low speed is beautiful. Oh, track limits. Oh, it's counting. Okay. That's how I lost already my quali in a special event. Well, 2 seconds gone. No cut though. The rotation is immense, but the rear kind of cannot cope with it. Well, let's see how many people actually put in a good lap. What? I guess that's back of the grid, but where did I cut? I didn't cut. I heard the track limits at Le Mans are completely broken though. Daniela, I will do it, yes. Just let me practice this couple of corners because I kind of need it. Yeah, like I just use the curb normally and it invalidates, or like it wants to invalidate my lap. Inside, like I'm... In the past I've abused those curbs a lot more. By abuse I still mean left side tires on the track and the right side just like at the the inner edge of the curb. Kind of the front wants to lock up, but at the same time the rear is nudging me sideways a little bit. And it feels completely broken, like I've never raced Le Mans with white lines. Like the white lines are not at the curb, so you cannot really use the white lines. Like it's... I don't know, that's not... the track was not meant for that. Like the white lines have not been painted in a way that they would be expected to be obeyed. This setup is way too oversteery, I need to do something. Is it a bit better now? Yeah, I need to fix the rear. Somehow. I don't know how yet. Like, I think it's slightly overexposured. Anyway, I don't know what to do now. 25 minutes times 60 divided by 1... What was... 340? What's that? 180? 310, 316... ish. Let's say it's gonna be 6 laps. And luckily the lap is long, so I have time to figure out the fuel. Although I didn't really do a full lap, so I don't even know what's the fuel usage. It used to be like 7.5 back in the RF2 days. Where is my... fuel. 6. Nah. I'm gonna take 7.5, 45. I'm gonna take 50 liters and whatever happens, happens. And now about the setup. I don't know what to do. Still quali. Let's see what Motec says. Into the Porsche curves. Is the rear... Probably the rear is on the packer a bit. So maybe increase the rear ride height a bit. Maybe... I don't want to touch the front. Add a bit of damping on front. Max front ARB. I don't know, it feels so oversteery, I'm just scared. Let's hope for the best. Marvin, welcome back. I'm doing the last round for today, and it's multi-class open, intermediate series or whatever it's called. And I have taken the LMP2, and I thought the Monza setup that worked extremely well at Monza would work extremely well at Le Mans as well. But it turns out that it's basically undrivable. P19, okay, at least. What's that grid? 6 LMP2s, couple of GTEs, and then a lot of LMP2s. It just shows how difficult it is. Anyway. I click start driving, and I hope that the balance is gonna be alright, because if it's not, then it's gonna be tricky. Ooh, Le Mans has tire warmers. That's nice. So tires are 87, beautiful. Pray for me. Yeah, not much grip. Well, I'm trying to catch up, but I cannot catch up if there is a car ahead of me. I got told that if that catch up is flashing, it means that I could get a penalty. But I had a car ahead, so I could not go faster, so if that's a penalty, I'm gonna be unhappy. Did they... yeah, headlights on. Brake bias a bit more to the front. The tires are as hot as they are ever gonna be. Well, Colin, they will be... They did remove it for this year, no? 24, I think it was without. But well, in the night, they just most of the time had wet. Thank you, Domi. These colors are just like, I don't know. It's good, but it's so weird. Where is my radar? Ah, okay, no one on the left. Don't turn me. Thank you. That's the Moses moment, right? Well, but my top speed should be good. So let's see. Oh yeah, the top speed. Let's go. Gonna be wiggling a lot, but I think I'm at least gonna fly on the straight. Yeah, real content. Like, without a quali lap, but After 1 minute of racing and a half, I'm already P4. Crazy. Now I just hope I have pace. The cuts are extremely sensitive. Is he on like race or like safety car mix? Well, I hope that driving like it's wet is gonna work, because I really need to tiptoe now into Porsche cars. I have no idea how much grip there's gonna be on the front and on the rear. Despite maximum front ARB and 1 rear, low speed is still kind of positive. Yeah, kind of spot on, to be honest. Feels like unlimited front grip from aero side of things. P1 is fast. I need to get the move on. Come on, top speed, let's go. Thought I would be able to get him on this straight, but I didn't carry enough speed. Actually, he cut the exit a little bit. What do I do? Just keep accelerating on the left, I think. Don't give me cuts. I'm always scared when getting a move done and then this cut pops up and then I don't know if it's gonna say that I have done an illegal overtake and I need to return position. But I think it only does it if you leave the track once or like while you are side by side. No, yeah, the classes need to be fixed. Not have like it's so dangerous to have mixed hypercars and LMPs and GTs. Ah, tough luck, Jankas. So you were not one of the lucky few, including me, who kind of survived through the big cloud of carnage. Scared. And the rotation is insane though. Okay, just need to stay far below the limit. I'm just about start feeling the rear grip. And lean just marginally on it and then it flies. But I was a bit too much on the limit now, I think. That's a cut. I need to completely relearn the cuts or what? No, but this is not correct. They need to fix the cuts. Like this is unrealistic. Nobody's driving like this. Oh well, yeah, iRacing is as cold as you go. The colder you go, the faster it is. Wait, isn't there some threshold as well at which the tires start losing too much temperature? Well, in LMU it's for sure the case, like under some threshold you are suddenly half a second or 1 second or even more slower. Oh, I have such a top speed. Try a bit later. I just touched the curb a bit and it gave me a cut. It doesn't want to battle me or what? Even low speed the rear steps out. I don't know why that's going on. The car felt a lot different at Monza. It could actually be the 11 Celsius. Davis in P1 must be on race lean. Well, that's a move for the lead. Not as exciting as I expected it to be, including the whole fight through the grid back into the podium positions, but I guess all the excitement was squeezed together within 2 corners. How am I P1 after 10 minutes of racing from P19? Crazy. I'm scared. I don't know. Yellow flag? Uh-oh. Where is the yellow car? Ah, there it is. No, it honestly feels the same as when you are lacking the rear wing. Just that there is a bit more rear grip. But the FFB is saying the same things. Like, if you turn a bit more, then the car will snap. Eh? And that was a cut as well. I don't know. I don't know. I've done probably 1,000+ laps of Le Mans in my life, and I've never got cuts for that. Nice flying orange board. I guess I clipped it. Yeah, Nico, I'm still driving. I got spared. Oh, you mean like driving? Yeah, I mean, I feel like I should probably go to bed, but the virus is getting afraid of the adrenaline, I suppose. I didn't really plan to break any sweat, but then the races like Monza, Spa before happened, and then I went into the full push mode, and I probably shouldn't, but it was fun. But I will cancel my potential tomorrow's early afternoon's stream out of my calendar because I will need some good rest. And hopefully I wake up without fever, with at least half opened nose, or without a positive COVID test. I think the front scraps the ground. Like at the moment where I start braking, something happens on the right side, which it doesn't on the hypercars. At least not that I would hear and feel it, but I think that's the reason I have lost the rear so dramatically in the practice. It bottoms out and then it just snaps completely. Which means that my ride heights are not really done for Le Mans. I mean, it makes sense because for Monza you don't really have high speed corners, right? Lesma 1, Lesma 2 are not high speed, and then... Well, Ascari exit is kind of high speed, but it's easy flat, so it doesn't count. Parabolica exit is at some point becoming high speed, but again at that time you are already gone out of the apex. So I would need to work on the setup to make it a bit more resilient or stiffer in high speed. I think as long as I'm on throttle, partially, I can kind of lean onto the front. But if I'm coasting or lifting, then the rear is gonna kill me instantly. So how not to get a cut here? This was clean, okay. Drunk racing extreme when, uh-oh. Well, I have bad news for you. How to say it, but let's say I've never drunk more than 1 can of beer at a time, or 2 glasses of wine, or so on. So I don't really have much experience with drunkenness, let alone drunk driving. And if that makes me sound extreme or weird, I have what's it called? An alibi for that, because of my type 1 diabetes, which I have now for, well, more than 10 years. Being slightly alcoholic, or like drinking, let's say, 1 shot of whiskey or 1 beer at kind of empty stomach feels exactly like mild hypoglycemia. And it's a bit scary, so I just don't want that feeling. So you will not see drunk driving here. But well, let's see. Maybe my whole career goes down the drain. I lose all my contracts. I get blamed for some terrible illegal driving or hate speech or whatever on the stream, and then I'll stream to the remaining 5 viewers. drowning my sadness. No, that's, let's say that's not one of the top 500 plans that I have lined up for my life. About spicy food, yeah, maybe sometimes. Actually, when it comes to viruses and so on, I prefer the fruit and antioxidants and vitamin C approach. Although spicy food tends to have a lot of vitamin C, right? The peppers and so on. I'll have many blueberries for the dinner after this. Or what's the word? I heard that dinner is not really the evening meal, but like afternoon meal, depending on part of the world where the people speak English. Like Scotland or England already have different time zones, supposedly, when it comes to naming the meals. It was not ideal time to downshift, but I was just enough on throttle to spare me of a snap. And I'm pulling a good gap on P2, I suppose. I'm getting confident, which is normally not an ideal thing. Don't give me a cut, I want a lap, thank you. I got a lap time. Well, my friend and old colleague David, who lives in Scotland but is Polish, for him dinner is before supper, and when he says he goes to dinner, it's time zone where I normally go for what we call lunch. So I get confused every time. Supper after 10. Yeah, well, I suppose it's again different per like country, even among the English-speaking countries. Dinner is lunchtime. Yeah, that's super interesting. Because in English classes we have been told that in the morning you eat breakfast, at early afternoon you eat lunch, and in the evening you eat dinner. They didn't really teach us what a supper is. Just like some meal at some point. Or maybe I was not paying enough attention. Stop giving me cut warnings, please. I didn't cut. Understood, Pete. That instills a bit more confidence into me about our English teachers. FPS is kind of stable, but I really feel it's stuttering. I thought that it would stabilize when the race started till now, but like every time going into this section of corners, ever since RF2 days, there used to be frame drops, but now the frames are stable, but the frames are still dropping. I don't know. I don't know. I need to go through the NVIDIA settings one day. I've read somewhere that the low latency mode can cause micro stuttering to some people. but it was then a combination of low latency mode on the monitor and in the NVIDIA control panel. But to me it's mostly fine, apart from the times when it's not fine, like now. Well, now it's 135, so I have it fixed at 137 manually. So I'm confused about where the frames are going then. If it's full frame rate, why is it stuttering? These cars would need rotating headlights. Like when you turn in, it should illuminate the apex. That would be lovely. For slow corners especially. Yes, I'm doing a plan F here for P1 on the leaderboard. Well, I'll try not to end up in the Porsche curves wall, of course. I wish I could have enough knowledge to add anything to that. Not really looked at the GPU market for some time. But I've been looking at the CPU market, because supposedly I'm being CPU limited with the 12,600K and what's it called? 3080 RTX. Couldn't remember for a moment if it's 3800 RTX or 80. I figured it out eventually. The FPS is at max, and it's super weird, choppy and micro stuttery and input laggy. I guess I got quite lucky that there were no like pro or fast sim racers in the LMP class now. Most of them probably went for the GTEs, because if I was forced to push I would have lost the rear sooner or later. Don't give me a cut, I wanted PB. I wanted the PB. No, but these cuts are so strict and so weird in places. Unrealistic, like people extend more in real life there and they don't get penalized. Anyway, that's gonna do it for today. And I'm one tired and weary Irnay with hopefully not too many viruses floating around, but it will be good for me to stop talking. What damage level do I render? What do you mean? Is that a setting in the JSON? Yeah, special effects are off, of course. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Domi. And thank you, everybody, for the likes and the subs and so on. Much appreciated. And I'm just gonna quickly look at the replay before heading off for some rest. This is so weird when people ahead are already having green. At this point I thought, well, I'm just gonna remove the pit limiter anyway, but I didn't, just to be safe, because here it's already green, and like I'm like this and trying to reach with the right hand for this button, and I mean I was stuck behind the GTE anyway. Got lucky here with the 3 white GTEs that nobody turned in on me. Whoa, what was that? Wasn't too close. Then I decided to send it around the outside. Almost nobody made the apex of the leading pack. That Corvette almost clipped the Aston as well. Yeah, I didn't realize there is LMP2 on the exit spun around. Like here it was hidden kind of behind the wiper, and then at this point suddenly a big flash appears. But, that was so lucky. So lucky. It was a nice last round. Just gonna quickly check if I can learn something from the mistakes. Nice downshifting sounds. Oh. 4 cars, 2 separate incidents. That's the choppy replay bug. He lost the rear. And P1 locked up. Yeah. And then he gave him the little bit of green throttle. Bonk. Happens. Okay. Well, I'm pretty much done now. Yeah. Quickly checking the results, and then the button back to main menu, which Andy suggested. Back to online. Okay. And back button is actually like back to the previous screen. Understood. Yes. I saw that button in the past, but I never really consciously acknowledged its existence. I never clicked on it. Guess the results are still loading. Oh, I'm officially over 100 races. I never look at this. This looks fun. %50 win ratio. That's quite okay, I guess. I mean, not meaning to show off or whatever, but I'm genuinely interested in the numbers, because I really never look at it. Over 1,000 of laps completed. So that's, I guess, kind of what, 1,500, 2,000 minutes, which is kind of 70, 80 hours, very roughly. There we go. Generated results. I lost the DR. If I disagree. This is not right. Andy, this is so not right. Fix it, please. If you win, you should gain DR regardless of anything. Like, how can quali count more than the race win? And I lost the DR for the safety rating. Ah, because it's all the laps are invalid because of the broken cuts. Yeah. Oh well. Next time we go plus again. Gonna be fun with hypercars around Spa in the weekly event. Oh, I want to check the back to online. Ah, now it went back to online copy. Ooh, look at that. We have some weather. We have some beautiful weather. Weekly races. That's gonna be really good. That's gonna be interesting because it's yeah, we will need to fuel save a bit and then drive as long as possible to then wait for the rain to come. That's gonna be fun. Looking forward, but I hope I don't have COVID and I hope I'm still able to rotate the wheel in within 2 or 3 days. Yeah, Lando Norris. Very good ratio for the race starts, right? Anyway, guys, thank you again for the watching, for the chatting. It was good fun. Thank you for the likes, for the subs. And yeah, I guess there should be a 20%, but I guess it counted more because I actually like didn't post any lap time and then it was kind of a multiplayer. But still, like, that should not be the case. Victory is victory. Maybe they want to really harshly penalize all the attempts at back to front challenges. Yeah, Andy, but still, like, I was expected to finish first and I did finish first. Anyway, till next time, thank you guys again. Enjoy the evening or the night, and let's stay healthy, right? I'm hope I'm healthy tomorrow still. Bye bye, see you.